Back here, welcome to the Frugal Fixer shop. I built me a homemade router lift and I got a little problem with it. It moves by itself and I'm going to fix that today. So hey, follow along, let me show you how it's built because I never did the video and I might as well just show you how I'm going to fix it. So let's get that done. Y'all ready? Let's go. Okay, and what I've done, just to give you a little outlook of it, got the router mounted in the table. I 3D printed this little plate right here. I put a bolt right here, and you see this is a 3/4 bolt that I 6-sided and made to a 9/16 socket will fit. And then I brought that bolt through here and put a nut on it, and I put Loctite in that nut to lock it, okay? And then I put a nut right here that's locked in here with these 2 screws, so when you turn this, it moves up and down, okay? But it turns too easy and it moves by itself. So we got a fix for that. We're going to put a lock nut with a nylon lock in it because we ain't going to move it that often. We only going to move it a little bit, you know, to move it. So I think it'll work. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it apart right here. I'm going to put a lock nut in place of this other one. You'll get to follow along and see how it goes, and you'll get to see more how it's put together while I'm doing it. But let me give you a little more tour. That shaft comes down and it goes in through the nut right here, and then it goes into this block to mount the bottom of it. So it's just mounted in a wooden block to spin, and here's all the connection. What I've got inside is I've got that same old cheap $25 Harbor Freight router that I make everything else out of. Because I mean, if you can buy them for $25, you just put one in this and make it, be done with it, right? Okay, I put some 8-inch drawer slides on each side to give me a nice smooth slide to keep it vertical and keep it straight. Then I got that shaft, and then I put 2 stainless steel clamps mounted to this black block of hardwood back here with screws into it. And then I used wooden blocks right here that I glued on and then screwed on to center it up, level it, and get it exactly perfectly straight coming up out of the table this way and that way. So that's the way we done it, and then like I said, there's your connection to roll it up and down. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it apart and replace those nuts and get it fixed up where it'll work a little bit better. So let's go. Now I've got a drill right here, and I think the simplest thing to do would be just take these pieces off and then put them back when I get done. It's going to be tell you what, I'm going to leave that one for now. I'm just going to take the bottom one off, and then we'll see if we can just unscrew it out of there. How about that? So let me get that one out. That one out. Maybe a little further. I must have get some longer screw than I thought I did, huh? Okay, one here. One there. Okay, you see how it's coming out, guys? That's got that screw, so I'm gonna leave it in there. You ready? See? Now that's a piece of really good maple hardwood, okay? So I got that, and that's a heavy piece of bird's eye maple. Y'all give you a little better look at these door slides, the way they come in. And if we turn this like this thing's gonna screw right out the bottom. See right there? And I need to get a socket to make it easier to turn. So let me go grab one. Okay, I'm gonna come in from this side with a socket right quick. Now see how when you turn that wrench it makes it go up? We just took it off right there, see? Got it ready to come out. I can get the whole works out of there now. See if I can get this to come through here. Let me show you the shaft. There's the shaft. We've got a nut locked on here with Loctite. We got a shaft made to fit the socket. Now what I'm going to do is I got a couple of these nuts. I think I'm going to go ahead and run one all the way up to the top of this regular nut and put it up at the top so that thing can never move up here. Watch this, see? Give it a little extra locking nut to lock the 2 together. So we're going to stick them like that. We're going to run them through here, back up into this thing, and then we're going to lock that back to that, and we'll lock those 2 nuts together when we get done, okay? Now this one here is going to get this nut put in it. We're going to put it on this direction. There you go. Now I've hit that nut and it's getting hard to turn. We're going to have to get a wrench. Okay, I'm back. You know, sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. And we're going to pull this back out of here and make it a little easier to work with on the table. Okay. Get my wrenches, take the extension out, but I don't want that in the way. Now, we're going to run this nut into here like this so it won't move. Get it up in there where we can install it. Oh, that's tight. Tell you what, let's go out to the vise, crank it in the vise where we can hold it. Let's run it on there real good and tight quick a couple times. Okay, I'm back. I took it out there and cranked it in the vise so I could get the wrench on it and go at it. Got it in there a little deeper that way so it's a little easier to work. We're going to run these nuts right, let them slide right through the base. Go up here to the top. Oh, that locked right in. Man, that's pretty close. Pretty close. Okay, let's go back in the hole. Got a washer we got to put on right here. That lets that have something to run against. You see that? Now we're going to take this and we're going to put this block back on. Got a hole drilled in the block to carry the end of that bolt right there. Okay. Now we're going to turn this and we're going to line it back up where it goes and put it right back in here. And I'm going to try to put it back in the same hole because I really don't want to move it from where I had it because it was right. I think I'm in. Okay, got it back together. Now we've got to lock this nut right here to keep it from moving. We're going to use 2 screws on either side of that nut we put in. See the nut? There's your nut. I'm going to lock right up on it with these 2 screws. I'm going to put one on each side of it so they can turn, but they won't bind. So they'll let it float. So I'm going to bring one in from this side. It's got that one. Oh, gotta get a little leverage on it, guys. We got it. Let's see. Oh yeah, that looks nice and tight. Look at that. So we ain't moving. So now that we got this in here, we're not moving up and down, and we're going to solid. Everything is back in place. Now we just need to see if we're able to turn it. That's going to be the problem because it's tight. I want to try to tighten this nut up first. This extra nut I added on, let's get it tight. Which is this one here, because it might go down and block us off if we don't get it tight and it lets it vibrate. So we're going to snug it up to the shaft on this other nut and get them both together. Ready? Here we go. Okay, I got the bolt in. I got it all in place. I got the bolt shaped on the top where my ratchet fits on it again like I want it to. I'm going to hold it. It's a little hard to hold right now. If it's down the table's going to hold it. But right now I need to hold it to get a little leverage on it. But you crank up the handle like that. And like I say, that nut's going to only get looser as it goes, you know. So now we're up to where both bearings are usable against a template on the bottom or the top, because I brought it up probably a ½ inch just then. So yeah, it's working. It goes 1/8 inch per turn, precise as I need, and I can measure it once I get to there. I'm going to show you now what I do with that router now that I got it mounted. Right here you can see I've got it just laying up on this machine, and I can clamp it in it, and I can use it right here on top of this. So that's one way you could do it. Everybody's got one of these sitting around just about. But what I use is, I've got this table fixed up here that I use, and I've got dust collection going into it right here. And it's into a plastic box that you can just take off and dump the big chunks out of them when they get in it. So it's a good way to do it, you know. So anyway, right here I've got this faceplate in it with a bunch of holes drilled in it. I can lay it in the top right here. I can put a piece of wood on top that I want to sand. I can turn on my dust collection. It's going to get noisy. folks. Let me give you a quick tour. Up on the table here, I've got slots cut in the table for tracks so I can run bolts in it. This is the bottom of the thing, but look down in here. That's the outlet there for the router to plug into. There's the dust inlet. Get your router, and you reach down in here and plug it in the plug. There we go. Now, okay, you see that? There we go. Now we got it plugged in. We're going to drop the cord down inside. We're going to bring the router in and set it right in the hole. We're going to drop it in right there. So now, get this out of the way. We're ready to fire the router up and do pattern routing with this bearing or this bearing on either one on this. So that's the way I got my cold cart set up. I got to get some stain on the edges and relieve my edges. I got to get that done one night here soon. And other than that, I just kind of use it as a rolling cart for everything else I move around. It's got a grinder, another router, a router on a clear face plate on the bottom down here. And like I say, it's all hooked up on dust collection. Under here, I've got my thickness sander that goes on the Shopsmith, and I've got my sled on top that goes on my big sled that I use for the whole table. But I got a sled that covers the whole table, and I can use it to cut a guitar down on it. So that's working out good. That's the way it works, and that's what I got going. So hey, the little router lift is probably less than $50 for all the stuff and the router. So yeah, the $25 router lift is what I'm gonna call it, okay? So we got a $25 router lift, and it works, and it moves, and it does everything we need it to do to get that router to go, guys. So hey, watch along, you get to see it run later. I'm not gonna make that noise tonight, but we'll do it another time. But I just wanted you to see how it went in and how it worked, and here's the way the adjuster works on it. We got it up here, the bearing's up here at the table now. So we're just gonna take it and turn it down. Now you can see the bearings below the table. See that? Change a bit. I got this plate in here I can pop out. I can get the wrench right here to take it out and put it in. But I'm mostly just using pattern bits. That's all I use it for. Everything else, I use the Shopsmith and the overhead router for it. That's what I'm using on it. So hey, that's what we got going. Hey, so thank you all for joining me today. I appreciate you coming by. I got the old router lift in the table, as you can see, and man, it works pretty good. It's tight, but it's going to get looser. But the other one was way too loose. That nut just go, and it'd start up, it'd run and vibrate, and it'd be here, and the next thing you know, it'd be down there, you know. So nah, that wasn't going to work. So hey, that's a way to build you a router lift for about 25 bucks, and get you a router for 25 bucks and a box of bits, and you're ready to go. Do me a favor. God loves you, and so do I. You can't take it with you. So hey, do something for somebody, help somebody. See y'all on the next one. Spike out back to the shop and get something done. Hey, later next time. Bye. Make sawdust!